Picture this, a stage dimly lit, thousands of fans holding up phones shimmering like stars, the anticipation so thick you can almost feel it. Beyoncé steps out, a hush falls, her voice breaks the silence, and the world leans forward. That is, Beyoncé in 2025, a queen still ruling, a mother still protecting, an icon still surprising us. But what if I told you, behind the sequins and the sold-out arenas, there are rumors, whispers, dreams, some true, some maybe wishful thinking, that paint her life in even richer colors. Let's step into her world. There's a question on many people's minds: is Beyoncé pregnant with her fourth child? Rumors have been swirling, fans connecting dots from cryptic posts, staged outfits, elusive smiles. Some sources say they see the telltale glow. Others caution that there's no confirmation. Beyoncé's mom Tina Knowles has addressed pregnancy rumors before, how painful they can be, how the truth. As of now, nothing official confirms a fourth child on the way, but the speculation itself tells us something. People still see her as someone always building, always expanding, always in a new phase. Let's step back a moment. Beyoncé is already a mother of 3 Blue Ivy, and the twins, Rumi and Sir. Their family life is far from simple, far from hidden. We've seen Blue Ivy step into the spotlight more often, growing into her own. We've watched Rumi and Sir's playful spirits, their tiny hands reaching for the mic, their laughter audible from the crowd. 2025 has brought moments where Beyoncé lets us in, on stage, during performances, sharing the stage with her daughters, letting family be part of her artistry. If a fourth child were to come, what would that mean for her schedule, for her music, for her private world? We don't know. But imagining it adds a layer of tenderness and vulnerability to someone many think of as almost superhuman. Because even queens have their private desires, their quiet hopes, their longing for more of what matters most. Now, let's talk about homes. Because Beyoncé's real estate tells its own story of power, taste, and sanctuary. With Jay-Z, her husband, she has built a portfolio that is nothing short of legendary. In Malibu, they purchased a mansion designed by the famous Japanese architect Tado Ando for nearly $200 million. This sprawling property, perched above the Pacific, is more than a house. Massive windows, sweeping views, minimalist but deeply elegant. It's a place to breathe, to reflect, to hide from the noise. When fires ravaged parts of the region, their home remained untouchable, outside the evacuation zones. A fortress of calm in chaotic times. Then there are other properties, a Tribeca penthouse, a Manhattan condo, vacation homes, perhaps several private spots unknown to public records. Some are for retreat, some for family, some for work. We know they own homes in Los Angeles, have had properties in New York, in Miami, in the Hamptons. These spaces are where Beyoncé, the mother, the wife, the artist, can exhale. And in 2025, we hear she values more than just size or visibility in her homes. She values peace, privacy, integrity of design, spaces that nurture rather than showcase. One of the measures of her lifestyle now is how a home feels, not just how it looks. Cars. Yes, let's drive into that. Beyoncé has always had taste in vehicles. The sleek, the luxurious, the status symbols. But in recent times, even she seems to be acknowledging that the wheel doesn't just have to shine, it can whisper. Yes, there will still be statements. High-end SUVs, performance cars, luxury craftsmanship in every detail. But there's also conversation about sustainability, about quieter engines, about technology and comfort. We don't have public confirmations of her switching fully to electric, or about every ride in her fleet, but the shape of celebrity mobility in 2025 is shifting. If Beyoncé is choosing any new cars, many expect they reflect not only power, but responsibility, privacy, in movement, comfort, and style that isn't shouting, but commanding. Now, let's talk net worth, because this part is breathtaking. Beyoncé, as of 2025, stands among the top earners in the world of music, business, entertainment. Her album Cowboy Carter is one example of how she continues to push boundaries, crossing genres, redefining expectations. Her tours, her streaming, her endorsements, her role in films and production, her ownership stakes, all these feed into a vast financial ecosystem she has helped build. Reports vary, and no one knows the full private ledgers, but estimates place her net worth well into the hundreds of millions, possibly approaching or exceeding $1 billion if you account for all assets, real estate, royalties, businesses. Some rumors go further. Some say she and Jay-Z together might comfortably sit over $1 billion in combined assets. Others caution these numbers are inflated by speculation. But even conservatively, her wealth gives her enormous freedom, financial, creative, personal, freedom to refuse projects that don't align with her values, freedom to protect her children, freedom to set the pace of her own story. Yet money is not the only currency here. In Beyoncé's 2025 lifestyle, influence, respect, legacy are intertwined. She's at a point where her choices matter even more than her achievements. Each tour date she picks, Each performance, each song is deliberate. She's not just performing for applause. She's building a legacy her children will know. She's crafting stories of empowerment, of identity, of roots where, the daughter of immigrants, a girl from Houston, becomes a woman who speaks to millions with authenticity. We see it on stage. On her Cowboy Carter tour, she doesn't just sing, she creates community. Moments where the music softens, where she invites family on stage, letting Blue Ivy, letting Rumi be part of the spectacle. Moments where the show pauses to honor fans, to connect, to reveal a human heartbeat beneath the spectacle. There's a moment where she helps a fan with a gender reveal meaning. In the middle of her performance, in pouring rain, she kneels. She opens an envelope, reveals it's a boy. As part of someone else's joy, small gestures, yes but powerful. They show what matters. And they show she still sees others even in her highest moments. Let's dwell a moment on those contradictions. The artist's glare under the spotlight, and the mom reading bedtime stories, the CEO negotiating deals, and the parents singing lullabies. Beyoncé in 2025 seems deeply aware that she wants both. She doesn't want to give up pieces of herself. She wants motherhood without hiding her artistry. She wants fame without forfeiting privacy. She wants influence with kindness. She wants joy and rest, even in a life that demands relentless motion. And yes, rumor or reality. The idea of a fourth child adds another layer. If it becomes real, it means rearranging schedules, reconsidering tours, balancing health, vulnerability, pregnancy in the public eye. And if it stays rumor, it still reveals the longing people see in her, people who hope she's adding more, building more, giving more of herself to life beyond the stage. Where does Beyoncé live right now? In her Malibu mansion? Sure. In her family homes? In hotels? Between tour dates? In the studio? But also in moments, quiet ones, when she's alone with Jay-Z, when she's laughing at her children, when she's watching them grow. Those are the non-negotiables in her lifestyle. And in 2025, those seem to matter more than ever. What about her fashion, her image, her public presence? Always immaculate, but also evolving. There's a sense she's less interested in controversy, more in storytelling, less in flesh, more in depth, more in letting her voice be heard. The message carried about identity, about Mother Earth, about being black, being a woman, being a parent, and doing it all without erasing joy, without quieting the music in her heart. At the same time, there's the weight. With fame comes rumors. With motherhood comes the worry of what you teach your children. With wealth comes the responsibility to use it well. Beyoncé in 2025 carries this weight with grace. She makes mistakes, she steps away when she needs to, and she protects what matters. That perhaps is her greatest luxury of all. The ability to say no. The power to guard her inner world. The choice to live on her own terms. It's easy to look at a superstar and see only sparkle. The clothes, the cars, the Instagram perfect moments. But behind every flashbulb there's a person, and Beyoncé has always been aware of that truth. Even as she's climbed to unimaginable heights, she's remained grounded in something real. Her fans call her Queen Bey, but the word queen also means protector, caretaker, strategist. It's a fitting title for someone who has built an empire but also shields a family behind it. So, when people ask what does Beyoncé's lifestyle look like in 2025, picture strength tempered by tenderness. Picture a mother's heart, wrapped inside an artist's soul. Picture someone who's given the world hit after hit, danced under spotlights, broken records, and who still wants the small things, bedtime stories, home-cooked meals, voices around her table. In Arling Arwu, Beyoncé is not just living in big houses, she's living in sanctuaries. She's not only commanding global stages, she's also creating spaces where her children can play barefoot on soft carpets, where art can bloom quietly without press releases or cameras. Imagine a typical morning in Beyoncé's world now. Not the chaotic swarm of assistants and makeup artists, but a slower moment. Sunlight spilling through floor-to-ceiling windows, a coastal breeze stirring the sheer curtains, the scent of fresh coffee. A child's laugh echoing down a hallway, Beyoncé in a simple robe, hair tied back, reviewing ideas for a tour or a new project while also checking on breakfast for her kids. It's a life that holds both grandeur and intimacy. Her Malibu home, nearly $200 million in minimalist concrete and glass, designed by Tadao Ando, isn't just a display of wealth. It's a fortress of calm. Walking through it feels like walking through a museum and a retreat at the same time. Pools reflect the sky. Long hallways create a hush. You could imagine her here, meditating at dawn, walking barefoot on polished stone floors, holding her youngest child's hand as they explore the gardens. This is not just a house. It's a statement about privacy, safety, and beauty. And yet, she has other homes, each with its own heartbeat. A penthouse in Tribeca where city lights flicker like stars. A vacation spot far from paparazzi reach, where her family can swim in turquoise waters and eat dinner under open skies. Each home is both a stage and a refuge. reflecting the different facets of Beyoncé's life. In 2025, she's reportedly investing in making these spaces even more private, more eco-friendly, more attuned to the life she wants to live, rather than the image others expect. Cars. 2. Tell a story. In earlier years, flashy vehicles were badges of success. But in Arlie Arwoo, Beyoncé's fleet speaks of something subtler. Yes, there are still luxury SUVs with tinted windows, still sleek sedans with handcrafted interiors. But insiders whisper about electric performance models quietly humming out of her driveway. Imagine her gliding through Los Angeles in a futuristic electric coupe. No engine roar, just the road and her music. This shift mirrors the larger arc of her life. Power evolving into influence, spectacle evolving into stewardship. Motherhood anchors all of it. Blue Ivy is no longer a child in the background, but a young woman stepping onto stages, sometimes dancing alongside her mother, sometimes rapping on tracks. The twins, Rumi and Sir, are growing, exploring their identities. In Arlie Arwoo, Beyoncé's parenting involves more guidance, more mentoring, more conversations about who they are becoming. It's no small task to raise children who are both famous by birth and yet deserve normal childhoods. She's known to set firm boundaries. No random cameras, no invasive interviews. She speaks about gratitude, humility, and respect at home. Those lessons shape her children, even as they shape her own choices. And then there's the question that ignites the internet. Is Beyoncé pregnant with her fourth child? Fans scrutinize her every appearance. A looser dress, a strategic pose, a cryptic emoji on Instagram. Some say they see the glow of pregnancy, others dismiss it as speculation. Beyoncé herself remains silent. Her mother Tina has scolded the press before for spreading rumors. Yet the public can't help wondering, because for many, the idea of Beyoncé welcoming another child feels like a new chapter in a story they've followed for decades. It would be a moment of joy, of expansion, of softness, a counterpoint to the steel of her career. Whether or not the next child is coming, the speculation underscores a truth. People see Beyoncé not only as an icon but as a mother, a woman, a human being whose life continues to evolve. They want to imagine her building a future even richer in love than in accolades. They want to see her happy. They want to see her human. Her net worth is staggering, hundreds of millions, possibly more when combined with Jay-Z. This money isn't just sitting idle. It flows into businesses, philanthropic efforts, investments in art, tech, and real estate. It funds her tours, some of the most ambitious productions on earth, and gives her the freedom to make art without compromise. But Beyoncé Rarely flaunts it. Instead, she folds it into her narrative of control and independence. Financial power means she can say no to exploitative deals, yes to creative risks, and still ensure her children's security. Think about the journey from Houston, talent shows, to Destiny's Child, to solo superstardom, to cultural icon. It's a trajectory of constant reinvention. In Arlie Arwoo, Beyoncé shows no signs of slowing. Her music experiments with genre, her visuals challenge expectations. Her tours blend spectacle with intimacy. She's a master of narrative, dropping albums with no warning, turning releases into global events. Yet behind that spectacle is discipline, hours of rehearsal, meticulous planning, a team of hundreds, a mind that treats art as architecture. In 2025, she's also taken to mentoring and uplifting younger artists. Through her label, her production company, and quiet collaborations, she's shaping the next generation. This is legacy work, ensuring that when she steps off the stage for the last time, a pipeline of empowered artists remains. The idea of luxury for Beyoncé now isn't just about acquisition, it's about time. Time to rest, time to create, time to be with family, the ability to step away from social media, the choice to retreat from the public eye between projects. This, in many ways, is the most radical part of her lifestyle. In an age where visibility is currency, she sometimes chooses invisibility, and that invisibility feeds her power. When she returns on her own terms. Picture influence global stages, millions of streams, but also purpose. Her performances now often include political or cultural symbolism. Costumes reference history, choreography nods to activism. Lyrics frame personal pain as universal empowerment. This is an artist who sees herself as part of a larger story, a movement, a lineage of Black women artists reshaping the mainstream. Picture someone who already has everything, yet seeks something deeper. For Beyoncé, 2025 seems to be about integration of fame and family, art and business, power and vulnerability. It's about living fully in the contradictions and finding harmony within them. She can headline the world's biggest festival and then vanish into a private island with her children. She can wear a gown worth 6 figures one night and spend the next morning gardening in sweatpants. Her daily routine reflects discipline and self-care. Early workouts, strength, dance, yoga, balanced nutrition guided by chefs but also rooted in family recipes, mindfulness practices, long walks on secluded beaches, hours in the studio layering vocals or perfecting mixes, family dinners. Story time. It's a rhythm, a balance of high energy and deliberate stillness. She also invests in fashion, art, and culture, not just as a consumer, but as a curator. Her closet is like a museum of iconic pieces, but she also supports emerging designers, particularly women of color. In 2025, she's rumored to be backing a new initiative to fund young fashion entrepreneurs, turning her own style into a platform for others. This is Beyoncé at a point where legacy matters as much as dominance. She's thinking decades ahead. She's thinking about what her children will inherit, not only materially, but culturally. What kind of world, what kind of industry, what kind of opportunities. Whether or not every rumor is true, the story being written now is profoundly hers. It's about legacy, love, art, and about being bold enough to evolve and soft enough to cherish what is real. Beyoncé in 2025 reminds us that you don't have to choose between being a star and being human, that you can shine and still hold close what matters. The fourth child rumors. The luxury homes, the cars, the staggering net worth, all these are pieces of a much bigger picture. The real story is a woman who's learned to control her narrative, to step into her power without losing her heart. Thank you for staying with me through every twist, every rumor, every lyric, every quiet moment. If you've been here for the shine and the shadows, subscribe, join in, because this story is far from over. Until next time, keep watching with wonder. Disclaimer: the content in this video is based on publicly available information, media, sources, and opinions. It is created for entertainment and educational purposes only. We do not claim or guarantee that every detail is 100% accurate.